Representative Paulina Luna for the post-millennial, and we are at Turning Point Student Action Summit. And I know you get a lot of questions about politics and immigration and everything else, but you're also a working mom.
Yeah.
And there is so much going on these days with expectations for young women and so many mixed messages about pursue your career, get married, have kids, the idea that women can have it all. What do you say to young women about that?
I will say that, there for a while was a big hookup culture, and I think that really has eroded what it means to have actually a fulfilling life and relationship. I've been with my husband for over a decade, and we have a beautiful young son, and I would say that find someone that you love, get married, but don't wait to have kids, because kids are awesome. And honestly, I wish I would have had him a lot younger. It's like this next evolution of being an adult and fulfillment, and if you have the opportunity to do it, you really should. So many people are like, oh, well, I'm enjoying being single up into my 40s, I'm, kidless. I get it. People have different life decisions, but I can tell you that me personally, it's been one of the most fulfilling things of being a mother. And even though I'm a member of Congress, being his mom has been one of the greatest honors that I've ever had. So that's the first thing. It can be hard being a working mom, and it can also be hard having such a young son being in politics. And so, some people have the ability to stay home, and I think that that's awesome. Being a stay-at-home mom is actually a full-time job in itself. But for those people that don't have the ability to do that, I would say that, there's those of us in Washington that understand exactly what you're going through. Because of our travel schedule, Congress does not offer free daycare, much to what people think. And so I bring him with me wherever I'm at. And it's because I think it's incredibly important to remember that even if you are working, you should try to have as much time with your kids as possible, because they're so young and they're developing. The first couple of years of their life is so incredibly important. So, you'll get sleep later on. But right now, enjoy them while they're young.
And how is it bringing him with you everywhere?
Well, he's very social. A lot of kids learn how to high five. He starts shaking hands, so that's kind of funny. He actually knows how to shake hands as like a 2-year-old. But he's been really awesome, and it's an interesting environment, because I bring him to the White House. He's met the Speaker of the House. You have him, different positions, meetings. He's met, the King of Jordan, I'm pretty sure, a couple times. So it's like, all these interesting things. When he gets older, he'll have those stories. So it's memories.
That's so great.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to talk to you about some of the craziness that goes on in Congress with some of the different representatives. Like Jasmine Crockett is always seeming like she's putting on a show. You have a lot of, like last year there was this crazy thing.
Oversight After Dark?
Yes.
That went viral.
Yeah.
I would say that there's a lot of stuff that people do when the cameras are on. But I wish that people could see the interactions between members of Congress when the cameras are off. You'd actually be surprised how much bipartisan work there is in general. Like, that's the majority of what Congress is. But I do feel like social media has enabled this just nasty form of interactions where no one would ever say a lot of that stuff to people's faces. I recently had something to repeal the Patriot Act, because I think that there's a lot of egregious civil liberty violations in that bill that was passed.
I protested against that when it was passed.
Really? Yeah. So it's really bad, and I think before in previous Congresses, if you touch that, it was like the sacred cow. Now there's actually been a lot of people, to include very loud voices on the left, that actually co-sponsored the repeal of the Patriot Act. Everything from Rashid Tlaib to Ilhan Omar. And I actually asked Jasmine Crockett, because I think that in general, those are the types of things that no one wins when you have a surveillance state.
Right.
And so I just wish people could see those interactions off camera. But ultimately, as elected officials, you have to remember that what you say does have impacts. And so I think the rhetoric right now, calling for violence on ICE and whatnot, that's not good. They need to tone it down.
It is really good to hear, though, that you're all working together on things that
at least
are
on stuff like
because,
that.
That's what we all send our representatives there to do.
Yeah, that's what I wish people could see, that, because I think that there's a lot that, there's a big divide in this country, and I think that a lot of it happened really deeply under the last administration, under Biden. When you had people literally being thrown in jail, the FBI interviewing members of the Catholic Church, calling them extremists, that's not good.
Yeah.
And so we have a lot of healing to do ultimately.
Yeah. Do you think that the Patriot Act will be repealed? Do you have support for that? That would be
I
amazing.
have bipartisan support for it, but I don't think that they would ever bring that vote to the floor.
Really?
Because of the intelligence community angle and control in Congress. But I do even think that there are members of the intelligence community that actually support the repeal. I wanted to see who I could get to sponsor it, and I really hope that one day that happens. I do think that it's a plus, and you're seeing a shift in Congress that so many people have sponsored the repeal of it, to include Republicans. Like I think Eric Burlison, Tim Burchett, Eli Crane. There's a lot of good members that are on it, and so you're seeing a bipartisan push for it. But we're small. They say Congress is bipartisan. Really, it functions more like a parliament, to be honest with you, because there's different factions within those parties. Yeah,
that's fascinating.
Yeah, so it's kind of the inside baseball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, great. Thank you so much for taking the time today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.